Senator Ted Kennedy fought a long and hard battle against brain cancer, but a brain tumor doesn't have to be an automatic death sentence. Dr. Paul Pagnini is a radiation oncologist and a brain specialist. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
First off, let's talk about malignant gliomas, which is what Ted Kennedy was diagnosed with, and what they do to your brain.
Malignant gliomas are certainly one of the most devastating brain tumors that a patient can be diagnosed with. Senator Kennedy's tumor was in the left parietal lobe in this region here. As they expand, they put a lot of pressure on the normal structures surrounding them, so patients can present with neurologic symptoms like headache, seizures, motor dysfunction, or language dysfunction.
The big thing here is we don't want everyone at home who has a headache to think, oh my gosh, I've got a brain
That's right.
tumor. Because
Absolutely
it's
not.
relatively
Exactly.
uncommon.
You know, patients tend to know themselves. If they're having a headache that they feel is similar to what they've had in the past, they say, oh, I've had these similar, take something, it gets better, not to worry. But it's really for somebody who has a type of a headache that they've never really ever had before in its severity, and also that may be associated with other symptoms such as a neurologic deficit or nausea or something that's new to them and concerning.
You know, kids tend to get headaches less than adults, so often parents will bring them into the office because that's what they're worried about, a brain tumor. And it's still pretty rare, but it does happen in kids. Another sign I look for is if it's progressive. Used to be once a month they get a headache, then it was once a week, now it's every day, definitely a red flag.
And
Absolutely.
new onset headaches, if you're over the age of 50, you've never had headaches before, and all of a sudden you're having headaches all the time, you need to get it worked up. Let's talk about what we do on the show. We talk about hope. Now, Ted Kennedy lost his battle, but what treatments did they use, and what treatments not only do you use but are on the horizon for brain cancer?
The standard of care is actually what he did receive. He sought out his treatment at Duke Medical Center, where he had a surgery with Dr. Alan Friedman initially. They resected what they could, and what we as brain tumor specialists want to do with this type of a tumor is really get out as much as safely possible without causing deficits. You certainly can't leave the patient worse off than they are coming in. The next, or post-operative segment of therapy, is radiation therapy, which is what I do, and typically a patient receives a 6-week course of external beam radiotherapy with an oral chemotherapy pill called Temodar at a low dose. That's followed then by about 6 to 9 months of a higher dose of Temodar, and that's the standard therapy, and that's what we believe he received for his treatment.
And down the line,
we're looking at some new chemotherapy agents that actually attack blood vessels that feed the tumor, and also vaccine trials are very promising, where the body's immune system is revved up to attack the patient's brain tumor in conjunction with the therapy. And some early data looks promising, but we've got a long way to go.
if you're diagnosed with a brain tumor, talk with your doctor about the prognosis and treatments, because not all brain tumors are alike.
That's correct.
And thank you so much, Dr. Pagnini, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.